Hi guys, welcome back to the class today. Very quickly I'll be teaching on how you can make these boots, cuts, trousers. Let's get into it. Firstly, you'll be needing your scissors, your chalk, your ruler, your measuring tape, and your pattern master, guys. I'll be measuring the length of my blouse of my trousers, which I have already cut out two pieces of my material into two. So I'll be measuring 39 inches for the length of my trouser. Then first thing you do is taking your measurement from your waistline to your hip measurement. So for a standard hip measurement, you measure 8 to 9. So I'll be going for 9 inches. 9 inches, and from your waistline again, you go down by your hip measurement divided by 4. That's gonna give you your crush measurements. So you make sure you get the accurate measurement from your waistline to your hip line while you are measuring yourself or someone measuring it for you. So mine is 44 inches, and I added an half inch to it for my allowance, which gives me 11 and a half inches. So now you take it again from your waist measurement down to your new, whatever you get, you put it there. And mine is 19 inches plus half an inch allowance. So guys, you connect it now. You make sure you connect it straight to align with both your side measurement and your center measurement. So now I'm connecting the lines together now. For now, we are connecting just the hip and the crotch line, and then we move to our nail measurement. Then from the end there, we have to come in by 2 inches. So after that, coming in by 2 inches, you take your round nail measurement from there, from the 2 inches. You come in by 2 inches. And then you connect it now to the hip line. From the knee, after coming in by 2 inches, you go up to your hip line, and you connect it with a straight line, and then you curve it a bit to give it that hip curve shape. Then after doing that, you go up to your waistline, and then you measure 1 inches in. Then you connect it again from your hip line to your waistline. Remember, we took in 1 inches from the side of our waistline, and from the side of our knee line we took in 2 inches. So now you connect it from from the knee line, you connect it straight down. you make a straight line to the end of your trouser. So guys, after doing that, you make sure it's well aligned, and then you come back to your waistline. You take your waist measurement and you add extra 2 inches allowance. Your waistline, your waist measurement into 4 divided by 4, and then you add extra 2 inches. That includes your sewing allowance and your darts. So from your hip line, you measure your hip measurement, which is my hip measurement I'm working with is 11 inches. Remember, 11 inches divided, I'm working on 44 inches divided by 4, that's 11, and I added 1 inches for sewing allowance. So on our cross line, I'll be taking my lap measurement into 2. I'll be dividing my lap measurement, whatever it gives me, I'll divide it into 2, and that gives me 12.5. Then I added 1 inches allowance to it. So now going to my knee round measurement, my knee round measurement is 15 inches. So I added extra 1 inches allowance, which gives me 9.5 inches. So I'll now connect it to the cross line, to the center cross line. Then from there, I'll connect from my hip line to the cross line. I'll give it a slight curve. You can also use your pattern master, your curve ruler, or whatever you feel like using. As you can see, this really helps. So you now connect it from there to your waistline you've already chalked. So guys, now I'll go now and rule it from that knee line downward to the end of my trouser. Remember, we took in 2 inches from there. So now we'll be adding it to the down part of our trouser, just because we want that place to be wide enough. So it depends on your preference. You can as well make it wider, depend on how you want it. So the measurement I'm working on now, I don't really want it to be wide. That's why I just added just 2 inches is enough. So now you align it together and give it a nice curvy shape before cutting it out. So now I'm preparing it. I'm trying to see if it's well measured and trying to make everything perfect before cutting it out. You give it a curve so it looks good on your client or on yourself. So after tracing everything out, I'll cut. is after cutting out the front, we'll place it on another fabric with few little allowance at the top and on the crotch area. So this is the front now we are working on. We will be cutting 1 inch out from the crotch line at the front of our trouser for a good fit. So connect it like so to our side seam straight. So now we'll cut that one out. So guys, now that we've cut out that 1 inch, what we'll do now is measuring the 1 inch together with another 1 inch, making it 2 inches for our back length. From the one we've cut, we added 1 inch to the extra 1 inch we cut out. So now we'll connect it to the side seam. Then from the side seam, we'll measure 1 inch out. After that, we go down to our back crotch line. We measure 1.5 inches. If you have a big bootle, you can as well add another 1/2 inches to it, but I will be working with 1.5. I'm good with it. So from there, you connect it to your waistline, to your back waistline. You give it a bit of slant, not really curvy. You make it slanty. Just watch me the way I'm doing it. Not really curvy as the front. Yeah, you connect it from that crotch line. From the crotch line, you connect it up to your waist line. As you can see, so I'll cut that out now. It's so easy, guys. So now we'll go down to our new, from our new to the crotch to the end of our trouser, our back, our pants. We'll be measuring like 3/4 to 1 inches out for our sewing allowance. We'll connect it from the end of our trouser opening to the end of our crotch back line. So we'll connect it, we'll make sure it aligns before cutting it out. Then we'll go to the other end. You make sure this is well aligned before cutting it out straight. For this side, you don't need any allowance except for the waistline. We took out 1 inches. So now I'll take my scissors and then cut. So guys, now we'll cut it from this side remember we took out 2 inches from there, so now we'll cut it from this side. So after cutting it out now, you can see how it is. So you fold it into two, the back and the front line, then you notch it from the point you notched it is where you take your dart from. You can use either 3.5 inches or 4 inches, depends on your preference, but I will be going for 3.5 inches, guys. So that's all for our trouser. You get a lovely bootcut trouser with this tutorial, guys. So here I'm just explaining how you can briefly sew it. You take one of the back and one of the front and you sew the sides together. You do the same to the other side, just one of the back and one of the front. You sew a straight half inch down to the end of your trousers. Then you take your your crush, your center crush line, you take it again, you take the two fronts and you sew it together like so, half inches. Then you add, so after doing that, this is what you have. This is how your trouser looks like after sewing both the side and the front crush line together. So this is how you do it. For you to get your back crush line, you have to take in your dart. You might have taken in your dart both for the front and for the back. Then you measure your waist measurement. You take your waist measurement, whatever you get, into 2. You put it there. Mine is 32, so that's 16 inches. You take it, then you go down now to your hip measurement. You go down to your hip measurement, whatever it is. Mine is 44 inches. So you divide that into 2. Whatever you get, you take it straight down to the end of your crush line, which is you'll be taking half an inch. So that's all for this class, guys. Thanks for watching. If you find this video interesting and encouraging, please do like, subscribe to my channel. If you haven't done so, turn your notification bell on so as to get notified each time I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.